He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I got the dang mouse.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he's in my trap right there. I got him. I walked in here and I was like, ha, got you." So last week, for those of you who
we got him.
I don't know if did we cut that out?
Which part?
The part where I was talking about the mouse.
I think I did. I cut out like the first 4 to 5 minutes because it was kind of like,
Yeah. Well,
I try to start at a peak.
Fair enough. So last week I sit down.
So, no promises makes the cut. But
no promises will make the cut.
We'll have a writer's cut that we release at the end of the year. So.
The extended edition.
Yeah.
Re-release all our episodes uncut for YouTube, except all our jokes that get us in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I end up bumping I don't know what that piece of plywood that's on a shelf, and it seemed like a bigger mouse than the one I caught jumped over my shoulder, and I said, "Oh no," pretty much. And he ran under my desk here. I was like, great. And then he runs back. So I bought like 3 different traps thinking he was, the size of Ratatouille. This one's a little smaller than I remember. So I don't know if I have 2 mice in here or if I'm remembering wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Was it a mouse? I thought last time it was giving rat.
It was definitely felt bigger last time. So I don't know if I got 2 in here or not. That's the question now.
Yeah, they might have a little some cousins and stuff going on in there.
I hope not. I let that stray cat in my backyard just to chill. I'm like, come on, man.
Take care of something. We'll keep some of that this time. I mean, why not? But we skipped forward, though. We didn't get to say episode 35.
Episode 35.
Kevin Durant,
the Durantula.
Yeah.
3-5 or 3-5.
3-5. I know he's 7 now, but
35.
He's 35 in our hearts. So
his best run is 35.
Wait, so can
he's done, right? I mean, he can't win another title, can he?
Absolutely.
Not with these Suns.
What?
There's no way. Come on, man.
Come on, man. So here's the thing that you never know. A big part of the playoffs is injuries, which sucks. But you never know who's going to be hurt, what teams are going to be healthy when it comes to the playoffs. I mean, you saw Devin Booker during the Olympics.
He was clean.
They get a run. They get hot at the right time. You never know. I'm not going to say he will not win another title. I think there's still a chance.
I just don't think there's a chance when Bradley Beal is your 3rd highest paid player.
Now, that's tough. But he could also turn it up. I mean, Richard Jefferson did it his 16th season with the Cavs.
Richard Jefferson's the reason they won.
He started.
It's the silent MVP right there, Richard Jefferson.
Let me tell you about Dick Jefferson.
What was your biggest memory of that game 7? Oh, Richard Jefferson with his, 6 points?
Funny enough, I did see him I ran into him at the end of the game. I promise on everything, which is hilarious. Let me ask you my fantasy football question before I forget.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking. So I'm 12th. So I get 12 and 13. So it really doesn't matter 1-2 for me. Would it be outlandish to go Marvin Harrison Jr. with the first pick?
Side note: Richard Jefferson 2 points. 9 rebounds, -8 that night.
Yeah, but 9 rebounds. So
9 rebounds is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you believe in the guy, then yes. Typically, rookies start slow. Now, typically, rookies don't have an all-pro dad who's been in the league. So a lot of people are really high on him. I'm very risk adverse.
Should
general.
I believe the hype or no? I kind of want to do it just to make a bang in the league.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
And it's a keeper league too, so you'll get him for 3 seasons.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. So does it have to be your first pick, or can it be any pick? Any pick.
It can be any pick. I mean, if let's say you draft, like I'm big on AJ Brown, but I won't get him this year. Let's say you draft AJ Brown and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brown just goes crazy and is clearly the best one, then it's like, okay, I'll just keep AJ Brown or, whoever. So yeah, just whoever you want to pick is totally fine.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of weird of like, I'm really high on this guy, but I also will not get this guy. So there's that. It's just a weird spot in a 12-man league because I know for a fact that that guy ain't going to 12. Let me tell you.
And let me tell you about 12.
About 12.
We'll have that discussion later. I didn't necessarily agree with my draft spot, but it's whatever.
It was random.
Was it?
Yeah. So you get lottery balls, and
So did I have balls in the lottery though?
Yeah, you had very few.
Exactly.
Because you didn't do any event. You were supposed to come to Dallas for the events. We scheduled it. You said I'd be there.
Maybe I did. Did I say that?
Yes.
I should have recorded myself or something.
I said, yeah, I'll come up for the events. I'm like, cool, sounds great. You could have, I was going to say, you could have recorded yourself if you wanted to, gotten a sub.
ASVAB or whatever.
We did the SAT. It was a rough one. Greg got a perfect score per usual, and he was so satisfied because last time I beat him and Drew beat him, and I've never seen a grown man that devastated in his life as Greg when I beat him at the SAT.
Oh,
and he was like, "You beat me."
Wait, did y'all really take the SAT?
Yeah, what I do is I pull a practice test. I pull like 20 questions of English, and then I pull an answer key, and I just print all that off. I don't look at it. And even if I saw it, like, while printing it, people like, you saw it was 7 days ago. I printed it before the quiz. So I'm like, a lot happens in 7 days. So I'm not going to remember, nor do I care enough because it's random. But yeah, I got like 4th this time. Drew crushed me. Kyle crushed. No, I got 5th. Kyle crushed me. Suze crushed me, and Greg crushed me. I was like, wow, I've never finished this low in this. They were ready to play this year.
Drew and Suze would be good at it. For sure, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Suze kind of knows the pattern. She memorized the pattern of sports questions I ask. So she got them all right. Like, I got one wrong. And I just pulled the same stuff from last year. I'm like, crap, what was the final score of the Super Bowl? Whoops.
Dang.
Yeah, I'd forgotten.
32-35?
Close. 25-22. Okay. I thought it was in the 30s as well. I was like, dang. Oops.
You quickly forget it.
I know. Just moving on. On to Seattle.
On to the NFL. This is our NFL time of the year. What?
Let's go.
Trey Lance trade worst ever? Is that?
Yeah, that's my hypothesis.
Okay.
So here's my hypothesis. So did you watch any of the Cowboys preseason?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw some highlights. And just to clarify, so they traded a 4th rounder or a 5th rounder for him?
Well, they traded a 4th rounder.
Okay.
Which is, and I thought that was too high of a price because, like, here's my thing about it.
Yeah.
If you know who coaches the 40, dadgummit. I forgot to turn the thing off.
Lights out.
Lights off. Got to pay the bills.
There we go. It's probably that mouse or that rat playing with your lights.
Well, I put a graham cracker in the trap. And that's what got him finally. The trap had been there a few days. All right, sorry. So my problem is with the Cowboys trade, Kyle Shanahan, the guy who took Jimmy Garoppolo and who took Brock Purdy to a Super Bowl, neither of which are going to be Hall of Famers. Pretty average quarterbacks, if you ask me. That guy took both those guys to the Super Bowl, and he said, I can't work with this guy. Like, that tells you something when the quarterback whisperer gives up on a guy. So I don't think they should have given him that. He had, in the last game against the Chargers, he had 5 interceptions.
Ooh.
He had the Tony Romo special, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. Wow. He also rushed for a touchdown, which was pretty dope. I'm not going to lie.
I think maybe that's the clip that I saw. It was like on Bleacher Report or something on Instagram.
Yeah, it was a pretty dope run. I'm not going to lie. And so you're like, so he shows some flashes. You're like, okay, this guy. He also had 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
So he lost the ball 7 times. And it's just like,
golly.
So the Cowboys trading a 4th. I'm like, gosh, that's a bad trade. Now let's look up the Trey Lance Miami trade. So the 49ers traded Not one, not two, but 3 first rounders.
Golly. To move up and get him?
Yes. Do you know who they got with those first rounders?
I'm going to say Tua.
Incorrect, but close.
A-Chain?
No, they got Tyreek Hill.
Woo.
They traded that pick to the Chiefs.
Okay.
They traded the first rounders and allowed them to move back up for Jalen Waddle.
Ooh,
And they used a first round pick to acquire Bradley Chubb.
Oh, man.
So they got a great first round pick in Chubb. They got Tyreek Hill, one of, if not the best receiver in the game. And they got another stud in Waddle for a guy who's now moved on. And we're like, man, a 4th rounder's too much. So the 49ers probably made one of the worst deals ever. It hasn't cost them necessarily, like, they got to the Super Bowl last year, but still.
Yeah, so not terrible for where he was drafted on the Cowboys part. You're saying the 49ers had the worst trade ever.
49ers had the incredibly bad trade because it cost, if you get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Bradley Chubb for Trey Lance, that's a huge fleece.
What was I'm looking at his college numbers. He really only had one solid year in college, and he was at North Dakota State. Was that the same? That's where Carson Wentz went, right?
I think Carson Wentz went to South Dakota State.
Did he go to South Dakota State? I knew it was one of those schools that always plays Sam Houston State in the FCS title game.
Oh, no, you're right. He went to North Dakota State.
Okay, yeah.
That was my fault.
If you look at his college stats, 2018, 2-0. 2019, 16-0. Great year. 28 touchdowns and 0 picks. Okay. But 2020, 1-0. So he has one, I guess, brilliant year in college, and that's what they were going off of? I don't remember all his hype during the draft, but they're also.
It was weird because I think
quarterbacks.
I think they wanted to draft Mac Jones. I think Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones. Quarterback will just follow his system.
Yeah.
And then I think they got talked into Trey Lance. Because Trey Lance, mobile quarterback, doesn't fit Shanahan's system.
Right.
It doesn't fit the West Coast offense. It just doesn't fit. So there was a rumor that he kind of had to get talked into it or whatnot. But the problem is, like you said, he just hadn't played many games. He didn't really play apparently that much, if I'm remembering right, in high school. Then he plays one full season in college. In 2020, he only plays one game. It's just that inexperience, the snaps. And that's what I was hearing a lot was, we just want to give him snaps in the preseason. Just give him snaps. Well, you're 3-4 years in.
Yeah. That's
it's time to take the leap, baby.
So he's third on the depth chart with the Cowboys, right? Because we still have Rush.
St. Cooper. Yeah, third on the depth chart. Won't play this year. People may be like, oh, we'll have some special packages. That's always overhyped.
Maybe he's a great backup for the next 10 years. Who knows?
We'll see.
I
think he needed time in college to develop. I think he needs a coach that believes in him. And if he's going to do anything in the NFL, he needs time. It's all about the snaps.
Yeah. He didn't play a lot in San Francisco either. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting guy. Interesting situation. So
it is. Money. So you see the owners vote on private equity in the NFL?
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
Are we prophets? Did we talk about this last week about how the only people who could afford teams are private equity firms?
So we talked about that a little bit. We were talking about NBA teams, I think, because the Celtics are for sale. And
and we talked about the Cowboys too. The Cowboys being worth $10 billion. And who would buy it? Yeah, gotcha.
So the Cowboys or the NBA, I think they allowed 20% of the team to be private equity. I think it's awesome. I think, how else are people going to be able to afford to buy teams? Is that essentially it?
That's my thought process is some of the owners probably want to cash out. The Cowboys are worth $10 billion. He bought them for $100 million. Let's say he wants to cash out a bill, things that I never thought would happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's somewhere else to store money in a, I guess, real asset.
Mm-hmm.
Let it grow and, yeah, why not?
It's a way to increase the demand so the price goes up. Just thought it was interesting that we talked about this last week and already comes to fruition.
Came to fruition. You think Jerry's going to sell 10% of the boys?
Not particularly.
Oh.
Steven might, though.
Yeah. Leave it to that.
The sun.
It's usually that third generation.
I'm going to go ahead and cash out, Papa. Like, I built this and give it to you. I'm like, that's great.
What happened to him, man? The grandson who went to play quarterback at Arkansas. Do you remember this?
Yes. What was his name? John Stephen Jones.
Yeah, he was playing. Was it Jesuit or some school like that right there in Dallas? No, he was at Highland Park, I think, and he had won. They won a couple state championships, and then he was going to play at Arkansas. And I don't know if he's still in the depth chart or where he ended up.
He's working for the Cowboys currently.
Okay. So he's in the business, family business.
Let me go ahead and sign into LinkedIn real quick.
Yeah, see if he's on there.
No, he's on LinkedIn. It just won't let me see what his experience is until I sign in. I don't want to create an account. Just use the security code. Ridiculous. John Stephen Jones. You think that guy has had some personal struggles in life?
Probably 22 or 23 by now.
Yeah. He's some kind of something for the Cowboys.
I thought he was going to be a good. I saw him play. I think at the one year I went to one of those state championship things there at AT&T Stadium, where you watch like 5 games in one day.
Yeah, that's a unique experience. Cool. I've never been there.
So no longer playing football. Sounds like.
No, some kind of executive something with the Cowboys. Stays in the suite a lot. So that's good for him. I'm glad he landed on his feet.
Yeah.
Sports?
Sure.
Sports. Looks like we're drafting tomorrow now at this point.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see if that actually happens.
You can always just run the live on your own and I can join you.
Yeah. See what I can do there. I might have a call tomorrow though, an elder call. We'll see. All right. You want to do NFL? You want to do golf? You want to do college football? Spin the wheel.
Let's do NFL.
NFC preview and some picks.
We're going to make this its own thing.
What's that?
Its own vid.
Nice. I'm just going to cut it for its own thing.
Yeah,
that way it produce more content.
Yeah.
I like it. Cut out segments, make them individual.
Mm-hmm.
All right, NFC preview. So we have, obviously, they do it directionally. NFC East, NFC South, NFC West, NFC North, or El Norte, as they say, south of the border. You want to start with the NFC least?
Let's do it. That's probably
all right, so we have the Cowboys, we have the Beagles, we have the Commies, and we have the Gigantes.
Ooh.
I kind of feel like 3 of these teams will have new coaches next year.
Man, do you think the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Giants?
That's what the hot seat seems like. I don't know if Daboll will get fired. I think Daboll is actually a good coach. I just think he has a horrible roster. Yeah. If you are a good coach with a bad team, look at Belichick's last few years. There's only so much you can do. If you're a good coach with a good team, you can go far.
Absolutely.
That's my thought process on Brian Daboll. The guy led Daniel Jones to the playoffs. I'm not saying that's better than the Patriots' undefeated season, but I'm saying it's in the ballpark.
It's in the ballpark.
It's right there.
I struggle with this one because I feel like this is going to be one of those years where they're all 9-8, Cowboys, Eagles, and the Commanders. And they're all right there at the top. I don't think it's going to be, what were they, 12-5 last year? The Eagles were undefeated and then,
tanked at the end.
Tanked at the end. I don't know, man. I want to say it's probably going to be the Eagles, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Commanders had a good year.
They definitely are interesting. Last year, Commanders finished 4-13. Now they've got a new coach, new quarterback, new system.
Rivera's the coach, right?
No, he got fired. They brought in Dan Quinn, remember?
Oh, yeah. Dan Quinn.
So he choked in the playoffs with the Cowboys, so now they'll bring that to Washington.
Yeah.
So their defense should be significantly better. Cliff Kingsbury is their offensive coordinator. Say what you want about him as a head coach, but he was a good offensive mind. What in the heck was that?
Is that your rat?
I don't know if I got another one, yeah. Something popped on me. I don't set any traps, though. I don't know. Cut and action. So Cliff Kingsbury is the coach. Say what you want about him as a coach. Sorry, he's the offensive coordinator. Cut. Action. Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator.
Oh, gosh.
Say what you want about him as a head coach, but he can call plays.
Yeah, so Kingsbury's going to have him rocking and rolling. That's kind of what I'm like. They got the new quarterback. You just never know. Sometimes those teams get a spark, and they may have a decent year. But I'm going to go Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Commanders, and then I think the Giants are just going to have a terrible year again. I think they might win 4 games. Max.
Kind of a repeat.
Yeah.
Hit a quarterback. Yeah, I think the Cowboys will repeat just because I think the Eagles are on the verge of imploding. The Cowboys didn't really do anything to get better offensively or defensively. Now, I think hiring Zimmer and switching the defense up, Zimmer does a good job against Shanahan-style offenses against Green Bay, Miami, San Francisco, where Dan Quinn's defense always struggled against that. So I think that was a great hire. I just think the Eagles... I think Sirianni is going to get fired in season. That's kind of my feeling. I think they're going to start poor.
Oof.
And then I agree with you. The Giants, I just don't see it. I think Daniel Jones sees ghosts, and once you see ghosts, you can't unsee them. So Dallas, probably the Eagles, Commanders, right there at 7-10, 8-9. Cowboys win 10 games because they have an easier strength of schedule. Giants, like you said, 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah,
I agree with you there.
Maybe, probably at a max.
Maybe.
Could be a 2 to 3 win year.
Oof, that'd be a rough one. I guess they lost Saquon.
It's
Saquon. All right. NFC South. Weirdest division in football. We lost Jameis Winston out of this division, weird. So I think they should just kick him out.
The dirty South.
South. Can you really feel it?
I'm starting to kind of slowly become a Falcons fan.
Okay.
I love what they did in the offseason. The QB thing is going to be interesting to me. Kirk Cousins is going to be the guy. I still have this weird feeling Penix Jr. is going to end up being the starter at some point. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I think they're going to have the city bumping. I'm going to put them at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like Tampa Bay running it back with Baker. Solid defense. They got Baker running the offense. They still got Mike Evans.
Yeah, big dog.
Give me Tampa Bay at number 2. New Orleans kind of probably 3rd, run of the mill, and the Panthers are going to be trash.
Okay, I agree with you on a couple. So the Panthers have the easiest schedule in the league as of right now. You never know till it starts. Partially because their division's trash. But I agree with you. The Falcons made good moves in the offseason. I think their new coaching staff is going to their offense is going to be significantly better. Yeah. They're going to unlock Bijan. Cousins is a huge, their starting quarterback last year got cut by whatever team he got signed on today. So, yeah, I think Atlanta will be bumping 10 wins, 11 wins maybe, depending on their strength of schedule. I think it'll be good. Now, my surprise here for you is I think Tampa Bay and the Panthers actually kind of push a little bit. So I think Tampa Bay regresses a little bit because they lost their offensive coordinator, who is now coaching the Panthers. So the Texans made a huge jump last year. If there is a team that could make a jump, think worst to first, they could not have played worse last year. They have a new offensive system, a coach who's committed to running the ball, milking the clock, keeping games close. And so if you get the games close, it becomes a coin flip. Don't think they make the playoffs, but I think 7-10.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. I think a very respectable season for them in third place. Tampa Bay second, but I just think they're going to take a step back. And I think New Orleans, I think the David Carr or Derek Carr, whichever Carr brother is running that team, I think that experiment's over after this year.
Me too.
I think Spencer Rattler might get some starts.
Yeah, I think they start to slowly. They're not going to have a great year. It's going to be they're sputtering. So
they are.
We're somewhat in agreement there. I'm excited about Atlanta. I want to see them have a good year. I think it'd be good for the brand. Be great for the city. Atlanta's a fun town. Great place to be.
All right, NFC West. You got the Niners, the Cardinal, the Ram, and the Seahawk.
You go first on this one.
All right, so huge changes for three of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals, they'll get a full season of Kyler. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., so they got a good weapon. Their offense should be completely... Like, they were trash early last year because they didn't have any talent. So they'll be revamped. I like them as a scrappy team. Not a playoff contender, but a scrappy team. The Rams, however, man, Stafford was cooking down the stretch.
Ooh-wee.
And they got Kupp and Nakua, and they found something with Robinson and Kyron Williams and Blake. If he's out, Corum's a similar runner. I think they're a sneaky wild card contender, the Rams.
I like that.
They lose Aaron Donald, which is a big red flag for their defense, but I just kind of, I don't know, you just get feelings about teams.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks, I think they'll put it together, make a late season charge, but just fall short. New coaching staff, different offense. I think it's going to be real shaky at the start.
Yeah.
And then get better at the end. 49er, I think, still wins the division. Rams 2. Give me Cardinal 3, but scrappy. Seahawk 4. But all of them 49er 10-11 wins, 10 wins. Rams 9-10 wins. And those two, Seahawk, Cardinal 8-7 wins. I think it's going to be a tight year for this division.
Man, I don't have a lot to disagree with you on. I also think the 49ers are going to win. I mean, they're just too talented. Everybody essentially is back from last year. I agree with you on the Rams. I've heard that everyone's bullish on them being able to pull it out, run it back, kind of look like they were with the OBJ year.
Yeah, they look good.
Cooper Kupp's back. He's healthy. It sounds like, is Nakua, is he hurt or is he healthy or has he been whatever it is? It sounds like he will be okay and he'll have a full year.
It's one of those preseason injuries where it's let's just take it easy.
Yeah. I think Sean McVay's a madman. He can pull something out. Give me the Rams in second, and then I got to root for the Cardinals, man. I want to see Kyler Murray come back and have a great year.
Yeah.
I think Harrison Jr. is going to be great for him. I don't know what their defense looks like, but...
Oh, that's the best part. Their defense is trash.
Okay.
So Harrison Jr. should get 150 targets. They should be moving the ball around, slinging it. They might try to run it a lot to slow the game down a little bit, but, man, I think they're going to be in 31-28 type games all season long, I feel like.
Yeah. Give me the Cardinals in third. Seahawks, I don't think anything happens there.
All right.
So,
I agree.
Nothing too wild.
Gosh. We agree. All right, and my favorite division to follow this year, the NFC North.
Ooh.
So my Super Bowl pick, the Lions. You got the Packers, who looked great at the end of the season. You got the Bears. I'm really warm on. I might have a surprise for you in a little bit. And you got the Vikings. So you can go first on this one. How you feeling about this division?
I'm going to go Lions based off mainly from last year and experience.
Yeah, they looked great last year.
I think now's their time. The Packers, they won 6 out of their last 7 last year. Beat us in the playoffs. Love
had
just
the 49ers.
got paid up.
Had the 49ers.
Had the 49ers, lost that game. It's really hard. I want to say the Bears are going to be second. I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll be better than the Packers. I can't see it. I see Packers and Lions at the 1 and 2. Caleb Williams and the boys in 3rd, and the Vikings are going to be, they have Sam Darnold. So I don't think they're going to do a whole lot.
No. Once again, I think the coaching for the Vikings is good, but you can only do so much when Sam Darnold's your quarterback. I feel a little bit bad that McCarthy got hurt because I definitely wanted to see what that would have looked like for a whole season. Like, you're not going to win with a rookie quarterback. No one ever has won a Super Bowl or even gotten to a Super Bowl, as far as I remember, with a rookie quarterback. But I'd like to have seen that progression throughout the year. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you 100%. I think the Lions, I think this is their year. It's kind of not now or never, but it's now or never type. They have a harder schedule, ranked 21st in strength of schedule, as far as like hardest, like more hard. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the Bears have the 3rd easiest schedule. So that tells you something. Like, they put together a pretty good squad. I think their secondary is really good. I think their wide receivers are among one of the better groups in the league. With Odunze, the top 10 draft pick, he's going to be your 3rd receiver. You got Keenan Allen over the middle, being your security blanket. You got DJ Moore, your big dog. I think the Bears are going to be really good.
Woo!
So I agree with you there. So here's the way I see it. I see Lions winning it.
Okay.
I see the 49ers winning the NFC West. I see Atlanta winning the NFC South, and I see Dallas winning the NFC East. My wild cards, the Rams, the Packers, and the Bears. I think the Bears squeak in.
I like that.
Yeah. NFC Championship game, I think Lions-Packers, and I think Lions go and win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go Lions.
Okay.
49ers. Atlanta, Philly. I'm going to say I like the Rams pick as well. I'm going to go Rams, Tampa Bay, Packers. Cowboys missed the playoffs.
Woo! Well, then Dak and McCarthy are definitely gone.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out. And give me Atlanta to make a run to the bowl to the Super Bowl.
You think they're going all the way?
It's going to be Atlanta versus the Ravens, and the Ravens are going to win it.
Well, I'll tell you what, they have the easiest schedule in the league. Mm-hmm. So if they could get off to a hot start and start putting some distance, they could get the 1 seed fairly easily. So they play the Steelers, who I don't really think the Steelers are in much anything in week 1.
Okay.
They play the Eagles, who are imploding. Then the Chiefs, that's a big one. But then it's in 3 straight in-division games. Seattle and Tampa Bay again. They play the Broncos, Cowboys, Vikings, Chargers, Raiders, Giants, Commanders. Like, it's nothing. You think maybe lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Chiefs. But, you don't look at their schedule and be like, oh, there's 7 losses right there. They could be in every game. So you're saying, so what we're saying is Atlanta 15-2, the 1 seed.
I don't know about that. I just they get into the playoffs and they make a run.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good year for them. I'm going to have to at some point get a white Michael Vick jersey, and it's going to be a great year.
Have to get Madden 2004.
Yeah,
run that back.
Let's go. Yeah,
I don't even want to buy the new Madden. I just want to buy Madden 2004 on a PC.
Yeah,
just run that back.
Just put it on a new console.
Yeah.
Dude, they could
classics,
man. That's why I was like, they should have put the classic teams on this new NCAA 25. Because guys our age, we want to play with Reggie Bush.
I want to play with Tebow.
I don't want to play with Quinn Ewers. No offense, but you're like,
give me the legends.
Yeah, give me my guys.
Not only that, I don't want to play. I want to play on easy. I want to play on rookie. I want to win by 90.
Yeah.
I don't want stress. Yeah. I got enough stress with kids.
I want to throw for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns.
I want to play as 2004 Michael Vick on a rookie. I want to throw for 800, run for 200, okay, 1,000 yards a game. Yeah. And I want to win 86-0 because I got a safety on defense, and I want to go to bed happy. That's all I want out of Madden these days.
Yeah.
That's what happens in your 30s.
I'm going to run 4 verticals. I'm going to roll out, and I'm going to have a blast doing it.
The old-fashioned read option. That's what my brother did. He run 4 verts and then go to the left.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Best.
I hate you.
And I'm pretty sure he had 99 speed on there.
He did.
He was
I
incredible.
couldn't catch him. I'd have to shift all my defense to that side, hoping he'd go. Then if he ran right, I'm screwed.
Crazy.
Anytime you play, pick Mike. He's like, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'm like,
crazy good. We'll do game of the week next week to kick off the actual NFL season.
yeah, there's some good ones though.
There is, dude. We'll do pick 'em. We'll do a pick 'em week.
Let's do it. Save your money. Let's do it. Golf.
I still don't understand the rules, but I do know that there's 30 people left.
There is. And there are rules.
You see the Keegan Bradley thing?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think he won. He won I don't know if he was. I think he might have been right on the edge of making the cut from 70 to 50. He snuck into the 50, and then he won the BMW championship, whatever it's called, this past weekend. Friggin' wild. And then I think Justin Thomas was in the same boat. He was at 31, and he slipped into this final round. So he's either 29 or 30 right now.
Right.
But he's got the opportunity to win it. So
I got you. Yeah, Keegan. So I looked at the standings. Keegan's starting in the Tour Championship in 4th at 6 under.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's because he won last round or what the deal is.
See, I still don't get that part. I think it is. I think it has something to do with that. Do you have the list up right now?
I do. I have. I put it on my computer, but I can see if I can find it.
Let's see if you can pop that thing
Share,
up.
but they're starting off. Scotty Scheffler is starting off in first position at 10 under.
Okay.
And we're going to thank Yahoo.com for this.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all's support of the show.
We've been lost.
Let's zoom in. So here's our starting position. So Scotty Scheffler starts off at -10. Your boy Xander starts off -8.
Oof.
And then they go down from there. -7, -6. Ludwig Edberg, -5. It's my dad's guy. Red Raider. Rory in 6th place, -4. And then they start to group together. So Morikawa, who I said watch out for, he's starting 6 shots back of Scotty. That's a lot to ask.
It's tough. I mean, it is 4 days, but
when you start off 6 shots back, that's tough. Wyndham Clark, who's played really well this season. Sam Burns sounds like a Simpsons character. You got guys at 3 under, Adam Scott, Tony Finau, Victor Holland, Ben Ent. It seemed like they cut his name off accidentally. Ben Anderson.
Hey, finish, guys. It's Anderson.
What's your name? I've made the cut. Ben Anderson.
Ben.
Okay. Something about ashtray by hockey or something like that right there.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to make it.
Billy Horschel sounds like a college football player or coach from the 90s.
Take me to 30.
And now coaching for Texas A&M, offensive coordinator, Billy Horschel. R.C. Slocum's man who runs the ball. Christian Buden what?
JT's at 30. He made I like that, man. That's one of my favorite guys.
Christian Kirk at 26, back to fantasy football.
What in the world?
What's he doing? Man, those guys are so good.
It's crazy. You thought Steph was good.
Gosh.
I'm gonna take the Swedish guy.
You think Emberg's gonna win it?
He's got a vibe to him that I like. I think
it's kind of the reckless vibe, right?
It's kind of a reckless. It's Luka-esque. It's careless. It's I'm playing a game, which they are.
Right.
But I'm so good that it doesn't matter. Either that or he gets second. Give me him at give me Ludwig at second. Scotty wins.
I'm gonna do the Casey and take Xander to win.
Okay.
Because I haven't you've been picking them all year and you've been right. So I want to feel that rush. Oh, it feels good.
Oh, it feels so good. Well, you picked DeChambeau.
Well, DeChambeau can't play in this game.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying for the U.S. Open, right?
I did. I nailed that one.
Yeah.
Colin Morikawa.
You are so big on him. What's the deal there?
I love because he has a slow takeaway. He doesn't rush his takeaway. And I would just say he's been close a lot this year in the first couple rounds. I don't think he's going to do it starting 6 shots back. But he's played so well in early rounds. I'm like, maybe maybe Thursday, Friday, he makes a run to get close. But he has not put together a full round this season in the big events. He was right there in the Masters. He was right there in the Open or the PGA. I can't remember. But he was right there in a couple tournaments and also Rory's playing well. So these two guys right here, clearly he could have won the U.S. Open, fell short, missed that putt.
Rory.
There's some guys playing well. It'll be interesting. Will I tune in?
You're taking Xander.
I'm taking Xander. You left him open, so I'm going to take him.
It's fair. That's fair. That's how that works.
Give me a T-shirt. He's going to become my guy after this.
Oh, my gosh.
You devil.
My dude. 500 grand or breakfast with Xander. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
500 grand because I got to pay the house off.
Yeah, I'd take 500 grand as well. Yeah. Get rid of this house.
You were at his house or you want to pay off this house?
Yeah, I say pay off the house. Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah. Ka-chow. So, you want to talk any college football? Just the big storylines.
Yep. I want to talk a little bit about the Ohio State thing. I think my A&M's going to be whatever. So we're probably going to lose to Notre Dame. I don't know what's going to happen there. I am interested in if Colorado's going to have a bounce back year.
Dion.
I kind of want to see what happens there. Every time I watch clips of them practicing, they look so small, man. Like I just feel like the team looks so small. I want to see them do well, but I'm curious to see if they have a repeat from last year, if it's any better. I think they won like 3 or 4 games last year.
They started 3-0.
Yeah, because they were hot. It was the hottest thing.
It was.
I stayed up till 2:30 a.m. watching that Colorado State game.
And I think what you're saying is absolutely right, because I think that size got to them late in the season in particular.
Yeah.
Because early in the season, let's see, they beat TCU in the opener.
That was a great game.
That was a great game. They smoked Nebraska. Now, Nebraska turns out had major flaws.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Colorado State, and that one for me was the red flag game. Like, if they were actually good, they should have beat the doors off them because Colorado State had lost earlier. And
yeah.
So that was the red flag game. Then they get smashed by Oregon. They barely lose to USC. They beat Arizona State. They lose to some close ones. They lost close one to USC, Oregon State, Stanford, UCLA. They were in the game. Arizona, they were in the game, and Utah, they were in the game. So that's 6 games where they were pretty close, like within a score.
Yeah.
And if you lose 6 one-score games, you think the coin flips the next year.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one of my big storylines too. Is can Dion get the guys? Because it doesn't really matter if he can coach or not. Once again, if you have the guys.
You got the guys and you got the coordinators, then you can make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because he's got this aura. I mean, he's primetime.
Yeah, he's got the aura. I mean, it's funny, man. But he's good. He's great at it.
So good. He's so good.
He's got the gray beard. He's not allowing CBS to come to his press conferences anymore.
Dumb, but whatever.
Yeah.
I like it. He just any publicity is good publicity.
I like it that he's setting the tone. I don't want that negativity around our locker room.
But also give me all the attention.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I like that one. That's a big storyline for me. Another big storyline. You had mentioned it. Ohio State spending $20 million on this squad.
Yeah.
NIL is insane now.
When I first saw that, I was like, is there eventually going to be a cap? Like
they're going to figure something out.
They're going to have to institute. It's just the wild, wild west right now.
It's overpaying for some. It's underpaying for others. It's so interesting because it's those blue blood programs. It's kind of just like who's willing to spend it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not willing to spend it, you're not going to stay at the top long. And so one of the storylines I'm following is Clemson. Like, he doesn't want to work the transfer portal. He doesn't seem big in NIL Dabo. And so it's like the game passed him by. Like, the game's changed, baby. Georgia's on top now. Georgia was a mid, second, or third tier team for 25 years. They never beat Florida growing up. It was great.
Yeah.
And now they're back-to-back, the back-to-back, and the team got left out of the playoff and just steamrolled Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole new world. So, yeah, I'm interested to see, because someone was saying, I read something about how they offered Marvin Harrison Jr. NFL-type money to stay for one more year.
Yeah, that's...
Because you think about it, a blue blood program loses to their rival they're not used to losing to in Michigan. Not only that, Michigan wins the Natty.
Yeah.
And they hadn't won a Natty in 10 years now. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
Ryan ain't going to be the coach anymore after this year.
I'm curious about... Because they don't have to post that stuff anywhere, right? Like, you can't look up...
Public university, you'd think they'd have to.
But I mean, like, Shedeur Sanders, how much is he getting paid by the University of Colorado right now?
I don't know.
It's a mixture of booster money and brand deals. It's... I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing, but yeah, at some point they're going to have to standardize it, and that's what I think Saban... Yeah, guys like Saban. I love Dabo.
Mm-hmm.
Get the mouse back.
I was just looking to make sure he was still there.
It kind of sucks that it sucks for those guys who weren't able to like pivot with it.
Dabo just finished building that program.
That's why like a guy like Saban didn't work in the NFL though. Because he's like, well, I built this program that's like, it's a rarity because was pretty much built around football greatness. Like, and you have to come there to get this school of football before you can go and get paid. Once you get to the point where you're getting paid, it's like,
You're expected to be professional. You can't talk down to them. Yeah.
Well, and then you're also playing the money game. You're not playing the, hey, come get knowledge game, which I think is what some of these great universities were always doing, which, right, wrong, or indifferent, they're getting paid big money. So
student athletes.
Yeah.
What's the other storyline for me? What's going to happen at Florida? University of Florida. Can they return to relevance? And that's a big week 1 game because they're playing Miami. We'll see. So Billy Napier is their coach. And this is the first time that they have had back-to-back losing seasons since the 50s.
Woo.
Yeah, so it's been bad in Florida. There's only like 13 years since their last SEC title. What's interesting is like they've kept on like buying out coaches.
Yeah.
They had McElwain, Mullen, and I forget who was after Meyer. Can't remember.
Muschamp?
Oh, Coach Blood. What's his name?
Muschamp? No.
Yeah, Muschamp, who was a weirdo. Yeah. But each one of those at least went to an SEC title game and had winning seasons. This guy hadn't even had a winning season yet. The recruiting classes were bad. But I mean, like, this is a team that in the 90s was always in the top 10, 15, 2000s. You had a couple bad years, but always in the top 10, 15. And every guy that came in, whether it was Muschamp or McElwain or Mullen, always had them at least 1 year. They'd always have a terrible year and get fired, but at least 1 year he'd have them in the top 10, 15. And the last 3 years, it's been awful. They got spanked by Georgia, losing to Kentucky.
Woo!
Kentucky. So
it's bad.
That's one of my storylines I'm following. Can they turn it around or not? Because they're going to need at least to get 7-8 wins this year if he wants to keep his job.
Every time I see a clip of them, I can't. It's an off-brand Tim Tebow. The quarterback, he's rocking 15.
I can't. They should have retired that number.
I'm like, is that Tebow? I'm like, oh no, that's somebody else.
That was 15 years ago.
He's throwing with the right hand.
It's definitely off-brand Tebow then.
For sure.
They should let Tebow have another year of eligibility if he'll throw with the other hand.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's basically all I got for college football.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. I think game of this weekend looks like Clemson, Georgia, which to your point is kind of the old versus the new.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about A&M Notre Dame?
I hadn't looked at it enough.
New coach for A&M?
I have no clue, man.
I think the guy's going to fit your system a little better than Jimbo.
I mean, he was there at the DC for a couple years before he went to Duke. And from what I've heard, it sounded like Duke had a good, some good kids in place, pretty good system, and he came in and immediately made the program better. And that's the hope for him at A&M. A&M's got great recruiting. They got all the money you need. They got some great players. Can he come in and immediately make them better? And it sounds like he's a little bit more organized than Jimbo was. So, I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of good things. It's A&M, and you never know what's going to happen. And if we go 10-2, I'll be shocked. If we go 7-5, I'll be like, yeah, that was kind of expected that.
What you need is
I also hate Notre Dame. So
I hate them too.
Yeah.
What you need is your version of Mike Leach that Texas Tech had forever.
Yeah.
He'll win you 8 to 10 games every year, 8, 9 every year, 9-3, and then every 4 or 5 years they make a run at it, and they go 11-2, 12-1. Because you got to think okay, it's kind of like Auburn. Auburn is not a tier 1 school. They're not even tier 2.
No.
They're tier 3, and that's fine. Just know who you are, get a right coach for who you are, get the right system for who you are, be that tier 3, make the bowl games, make 9 wins. Now with the expanded playoffs, you can get in the playoffs every 2 to 3 years if you're pretty good. I don't know.
And I'm on board with that, and I think the hard part is the university can't admit that to themselves.
The big chip on their shoulder from UT.
I think my whole view was when they hired Jimbo, I was like, awesome. Give the guy a decade. We had that 9-1 year. I was like, if we do that again, that'd be awesome. Give me 2 of those in 10 years. That's fine. We got a shot. And as long as you have a winning season the rest of the time, that makes it fun enough.
Yeah. Too much pressure will kill you.
They want to beat Texas, especially now that the A&M Texas is back in the SEC. We missed our window.
Yeah. Well, you missed your window by moving to the SEC. That was kind of the big issue you had there. I like it that Texas has ruined 2 conferences now. They've ruined the Southwest Conference and the Big 12. Congratulations. The good news is they're the 5th or 6th biggest program in the SEC. They won't be able to bully their way like they would in the other ones Alabama, Florida, Georgia, LSU were kind of you stay in your place, buddy.
Oh, yeah. They still run the show. So
they still run the show. You're going to get 3 losses every year, and you're going to like it.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. They might have a year. You never know.
This year they're actually be really good. Playing Baylor on the road versus playing Auburn on the road is a big step up there in competition. Yeah. No offense to TCU, but once you got to play LSU, that's a whole bigger set of athletes.
Yeah. TCU's a high school. 35?
35 and maybe 36. Who knows?
Jerome Bettis.
Something bad's about to happen.